Virlim ekes, thardash vethnoach, pok goros wux kurik. Who dares to trespass into the domain of Jalnur? What creature bears the audacity and ego to tread into my home uninvited? If you seek gold, then you have been misinformed. I am not one to part with my possessions or to offer charity. If you merely stumbled aimlessly into the caverns of the mountain, then I suggest you turn your tail and flee before I become displeased. Strange. I do not hear the pitter-patter of fleeing feet, which can only mean, of course, that you are either especially brave or genuinely stupid. Which are you? You are no warrior, but a mere commoner. You do not bear the cloying smell of a mage, nor the light feet of a thief. Clearly, you had no intention of facing me in combat. So why have you chosen to venture into my home? Speak up. I cannot pluck the thoughts from your mind. My apologies. Perhaps it would benefit you if I were to assume a form more familiar to you. Is this any better? I assume you are now in a stunned silence as opposed to petrified with terror. So I will ask you one final time before I lose my temper. Who are you, and why are you here? You bring me tribute. From which village do you hail? Yes, it has been some time since they have brought me their dues. Bring what treasures you have with you to the pile, so that I may sort through it later. Any fragile objects should be placed separately. Personal crafts with little monetary value should be separated as well. It seems that your leaders have only left you with a pittance. Very well, but inform them that my protection does not come for free, and that I expect to be compensated the full amount we agreed upon on the next season's delivery. You may leave my lair now. I see you are uncertain. Do you have a sensitive topic on which to discuss with me? Negotiations on the payment of our agreement should not be done by the servants and peons of those with the power to enact the decisions made. If your superiors wish to negotiate, then they should have come in person. Excuse me. Repeat what you said, word for word. You are to be included in the tribute. They have offered you to me as a gift, as a way to make up for their lost payments. They have attempted to sell you to me, as they are too cowardly to meet with me face to face to discuss their failure to bring the agreed upon tribute. How dare they! How dare they treat their own with such contempt? To treat them as cattle or property, as things to be sold! How dare they think that I would accept a fleeting human life as payment? To accept such a thing would be to defy the protection that I provide them. Tell me the names of those who sought to sacrifice you to save their own worthless hides! You are not theirs to sell or give. Let them grovel before me and beg for my forgiveness for this transgression. My apologies. It seems I have lost my temper. It was not my intention to frighten you, but offering you in tribute is an insult to the honor of both parties. Why? Either your leaders were too fearful to explain their situation to me, or they chose to give you instead of their own wealth to keep their village safe. Moreover, either they thought I was bestial enough to eat you as if you were livestock, or malicious enough to utilize you as a servant. Neither of the options laid out reflect well on the people you keep in power, and none of their assumptions of my character reflect well on me. Why am I offended at this? I am a dragon, a being of power, majesty, and magic, a source of reverence for all the mortals who lay their eyes upon me. For them to believe that I am simply a senseless beast is insulting and disrespectful. The insinuation that I would accept another sentient being as payment is an insult to my honor and my character. Considering they are the ones asking for my protection, it would be wise if they treat me with the appropriate respect of my station. To what degree are you aware of the arrangement between me and the village elders? They believe that they offer tribute to keep me from destroying their village. Perhaps the original terms of the agreement were lost through the ages. I am here as a protector and guardian. The Splintercrest Mountains and the valley beneath it are my domain. I have lived here since before your kind, the mortal races, settled here. When they began to lay claim to the valley, I opposed them. I had ruled this land for centuries. It was my right and duty. When the settlers sent 6 envoys to speak with me, I found an odd amount of respect in their demeanor and entertained the negotiations. We reached an agreement. I was to grant the land to each of your envoys. You would care for the land as stewards and offer me a small portion of your wealth each season as an offering. In return, I would ensure that your villages remain safe from the greedy clutches of the other mortal races. Your people have remained untouched with this agreement, Anyone who sought to do you harm has to contend with me. Few have tried, none have succeeded. Your people were to offer me gold, treasures, food to trade, or crafts of the people in return for security. Tell me, are mortal races on that list? I will not accept you as tribute. This I swear to you on my honor as a great worm. How did they decide to offer you specifically? You could not have offered yourself. So you spoke against the elders and their decisions. In turn, they sent you to your perceived doom. You made the journey alone, carrying what little treasures they offered, all the while knowing that each step brought you closer to my wrath. You are remarkable, aren't you? I do not give compliments often. It would be wise for you to accept it. Given that the elders offered you as sacrifice, I doubt that you would be welcome back home whilst the elders still rule. Then perhaps I may offer you some hospitality. Until this situation is resolved, you may stay within my home, provided you follow some rules. First, you are not to take anything without my express permission. These are my possessions. My hoard is not yours to steal. Second, the surrounding mountains are dangerous for mortals. You should not wander too far without my protection. Third, I am not to be awoken from my slumber unless it is an emergency. If these rules are agreeable to you, then you may stay with me until we have dealt with the matter at hand, and you can return home to your village. Good. Now, the night draws near. You are probably tired and hungry. Gather yourself some of the cushions and soft furnishings from the hoard to use as a bed. I'm sure they will prove more comfortable than a mound of treasure or the cavern floor. In the meantime, I will prepare some food. I will be back in a moment. Remember the rules which we agreed upon. Here. Some fruits in a crystal dish and a roasted boar. I believe these will be sufficient for you this evening. Very well. Your stack of pillows seems complete. I hope it will provide some comfort to you this evening. Now eat. Take what you can, and I will have what remains. It is not particularly generous. There are hundreds of boar across the valley, and quite frankly, I have become rather jaded with its flesh. Why are you shivering? Are you still fearful of me, even in this form? No. Then you are cold. So why did you not voice your grievances with me earlier, if you have always found my lair cold? I am your host. It is my duty to make you feel comfortable whilst you stay here. I request you tell me if something bothers you, so that I may remedy the situation and fulfill my obligation. You are not a burden. You are a victim. Here. A modicum of my flames makes for a pleasant campfire, does it not? And now, are you comfortable? Good. Then eat, drink. You have traveled far, so take some time to take the weight off of your feet. Well, I think it is time for me to sleep. I was rather abruptly awoken earlier and need to reclaim my lost rest. You should find some rest as well. Tomorrow we shall journey back to your village, and I will restate the terms of our agreement and negotiate if need be. Regardless of what happens tomorrow, know that you have the support of a wise and powerful dragon. Now, if you will excuse me, I sleep much better in my natural form. Sleep well, little one. I hear you shivering still. Are you cold again? If I were to light a fire again, then by morning the smoke will have filled my home and you will struggle to breathe. Bring your cushions to the top of my hoard. Whilst I wear my more human form, my heat is somewhat suppressed. But now I tower above the trees. My flames now course through my body once more. Nestle yourself beneath my wing, child. Feel the warmth of centuries past wash over you. Feel the silks beneath your skin and drift off to sleep. You are safe here with me. Bensvelk through kosh erir. Good night, little one.